What's happening, folks? Welcome to another episode of Real Gaming. My name is Martin and I'm one of the contributors in the Real Anarchy Network. If it's your first time here and you enjoy what you see, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell if you want to be notified when we upload a new video. Today's review is about Captain America and the Avengers on the Sega Megadrive, so without further ado, let's get into it. Long before we witnessed the Avengers Assemble on the big screen, this side-scrolling beat-em-up brought the heroes and villains of Marvel's comic pantheon together for the brawl to end them all. Released as an arcade game by Data East in 1991, it allows you to take control of Captain America, Iron Man, Vision or Hawkeye. The heroes are up against a host of enemies under the control of the Red Skull, who plans to destroy the Earth using a moon-based laser weapon. The Mega Drive iteration was released in 1992 and was co-developed by Data East and Opera House. The side-scrolling brawler genre was a particular strength of Sega's flagship console, and meant the game was up against some pretty stiff competition. The cast of characters is perhaps the most impressive feature. Aside from the 4 playable characters, Quicksilver, Wonder Man, Wasp and Namor the Submariner appear at points throughout the game to help. The Red Skull is the main bad guy, but you can expect to cross paths with Ultron, Crossbones, Juggernaut, Claw and a Sentinel among others. The game isn't a great deal of fun to play, to be honest, and character movement feels erratic and jerky. This is probably due to the lower frame rate from the arcade version, which had smoother animations and was far more responsive overall. The standard combo attack is largely ineffective, but you can pick up and throw enemies in addition to jumping and special attack, and those don't require any special energy to use. Bits of the environment can be used as weapons, and there's plenty of cans and rocks and other debris that can be used to batter your enemies, so a playstyle based on range combat and jumping attacks quickly becomes the most effective way to progress. The game comes into its own when you play with a friend though. There's no 4-player option like the arcade, but 2-player co-op mode is really good fun and goes a long way towards mitigating some of the problems. One major annoyance is the appearance of those tricky sub-bosses midway through each level, who are there simply to drain your health before you fight the main boss. Although it's cool to see some familiar characters, it's a cheap and cynical way of making you weaker, and for many players, the difficulty levels in the early stages might prove to be off-putting. The brawling action is broken up with a standard flight level, and Captain America and Hawkeye use their own themed aircraft during these sections. Sprite movement is far smoother here, and it feels like the game engine is much more suited to this style of action, and makes these levels some of the most enjoyable in the game. The graphics are nothing to write home about, and are well below par for the system, with small, poorly drawn sprites for the most part, and frankly, it's a standard you'd expect to see on the NES or the Master System. Although you can identify each character, the rough edges and thick outlines on the sprites make them look chunky and undefined. Backgrounds are repetitive and a bit boring, but the arcade version did have similar issues. The bosses are perhaps the most impressive graphics in the game, with the massive Sentinel, Ultron and the Red Skull being the most detailed and notable. Sound is another aspect of the game that falls well short of the quality you'd expect on the Mega Drive. Digitised speech is muffled and hard to understand, and it's just as well there's subtitles to accompany each verbal exchange. The dialogue in general is laughably bad. Some of the nuance and meaning was probably lost in translation, but it certainly raised a laugh or two. The soundtrack by Tatsuya Kiuchi and Shogo Sakai features a rousing heroic anthem in the beginning, but the tracks are a wee bit too frantic for my taste and quickly become more annoying than memorable. Captain America and the Avengers is ultimately a disappointing side-scrolling beat-em-up that's more likely to appeal to fans of the characters rather than fans of the genre. It's a much better experience in 2-player mode, however, the erratic animation, initial high difficulty level, and the substandard audio mean it really doesn't stand out from a strong crowd on the Mega Drive. So that was my review of Captain America and the Avengers. What did you guys think of the game? Have you played it? Will you be checking it out? Was I too harsh on it? Let me know in the comments down below. Once again, if you enjoyed the video, hit like and subscribe if you feel so inclined, and ring the bell if you want to stay notified. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.